Hi everybody, welcome to the Pilates Nomads. I am Kira Regan and I am going to be leading you through a little three-part series for the lower body in which I am calling Pilates at the Pavilion. So we are at the Placer Fairgrounds, the Gold Country Fairgrounds in Auburn. And it's a beautiful day right now. I'm so happy to be outside. It's definitely warming up. So I hope that you have a wonderful space, whether it's outdoors or indoors. This workout doesn't need much space. Just a little bit of space around you and you are good. I wanted to demonstrate the first video of this series in shoes. I want to show you how you don't actually need a mat, really, for this whole series of 3 videos. You can be in shoes, you could be barefoot, you can be at your house or outside, as long as you have like a flat surface. I really love these ones. These are Vivo Barefoots. They really simulate walking barefoot. They have a minimal sole to them. Sorry, there's a train over there right now. Hopefully you don't hear that. Come on, train. Shush. But they have a minimal sole and it really makes it a lot easier to balance. A lot of like chunky tennis shoes, that have lots of cushion on the bottom are going to make balancing really difficult. So that's my one piece of advice for this series. Don't wear big tennis shoes that have a high heel and a lot of cushion. It's gonna impede your balance and stability work. All right. So I've got this TheraBand here. It's just a cut of a blue, extra heavy resistance. Doesn't matter what TheraBand you have. If you have one, that's great. You don't need it. You can modify everything we're doing without the TheraBand, but it just adds that extra intensity to the workout, helps you feel what we're doing a little more effectively. And I also have this little mini band. It's also extra heavy, but I think it's a lie. I've stretched it out quite a bit. So a medium heavy or extra heavy looped TheraBand would also be great if you have it. All right, we're gonna start without either of those. Standing up nice and tall. Hip distance apart with your feet in parallel. Try to find that tripod. So the tripod sensation that I talk about in the feet refers to 3 points of contact. So 3 points of contact: the big toe ball of the foot, the pinky toe side of the ball of the foot, and your heel. So you press into those 3 points evenly on both feet, and that will help you to activate the arch of the foot and to really feel your weight well distributed when we're doing our balance exercises and all of this lower body work. So from here, just roll the shoulders down and back and go in a few circles. Just setting our body up for success. The mosquitoes are out, so I might be like swatting a few mosquitoes, and reverse the direction of your circles. Now I'm gonna face this way to show you a different angle. We're going into knee bends. Imagine that your back is up against a flat wall. You're just going to bend at the knees, keeping that nice upright spine, that neutral position of the spine as you bend and extend at the knees. Keep your heels down. So we're working on increasing our ankle dorsiflexion, getting that ankle to be more mobile. Now we're going to add a shoulder shrug to this. As the knees bend, shrug the shoulders toward the ear. As they extend, reach the arms to the ground. Shrug, unshrug. Knees bend and straighten. Just doing a little gentle warm up before we go off the deep end with some more difficult lower body exercises. We want to be warm. 3 more. 2. And 1. Now we're just going to lift and lower the heels. Pretty basic, lifting and lowering the heels, finding the glute and abdominal work to support that neutral spine, the natural curvatures in your back. We're gonna add, sorry I keep pivoting so you can see different angles, an overhead reach as the heels lift. Tap the thumbs. You can try tapping the thumbs. You can also try tapping the pinkies to get a different rotation in the shoulders. You can try doing one of each, alternating if you'd like. Pinkies tap and thumbs tap. We'll do one more of each. Pinkies and thumbs. Very nice. So now this little series I do next, I do this before every run I go on, really strengthens the ankles and gets them nice and strong to endure going out on difficult terrain or doing fancy footwork if you are a dancer. So really good to strengthen those ankles. And we're gonna do a 2-part combo. So the first one I will show you from the side. Hip distance apart, feet are in parallel. Toes and heels point north and south. Hands on the hips or wherever you please. We do a bend of the knees and then slowly rock your weight to the balls of the feet. Lift the heels, straighten the legs, and lower the heels. We're gonna repeat that. So there's 4 points that you're hitting, trying to become a statue at each one, not blurring the edges between them. So here, here, lengthen the leg, lower the heel. One more, we're gonna do 4 each direction. Woo. Pressing through the full ball of the foot so you don't lose your balance. Now we lift onto the balls of the feet. Bend at the knees, lower the heels, and straighten the legs. Try to find a point ahead of you and look at that to center your balance a little bit. 2 more times. Breath to movement. Inhale. Ooh, exhale. Inhale and exhale. So the next one I'll show you facing this way. We're gonna be in a wide second position or a wide Pilates V. So the hips are turned out, the knees and toes are tracking, the knees are in line between the second and third toe. Okay, nice upright posture, hands on the hips. We bend at the knees, lift the heels, straighten the legs, lower the heels. Now you know the drill, we're just doing 4 each direction, so 2 more. Pause and reverse. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, lower the heels, straighten the legs. Going at whatever pace you need to go at. Last one, I believe. Counting is not my forte, so you can always call me out if I don't do it and do the extra rep. Okay, so shake that off. Let's do a little bit of pelvic clock, pelvic circle movements. So hands can stay on the hips. We're going to tuck the tailbone underneath us, round the back, open up the hips, and release the tailbone back. So it's a nice, gentle way to open up the hips, get them lubricated before doing more intense movements, before doing whatever your activity of choice be. It really is nice to open up the lower back gently, get that pelvis moving. So I like to tuck on an exhale, release the tailbone back on an inhale, hide your tail, and wag it. 1 more of each. Now I'll show you this way. We're going to hike the hip on one side and then the other. So let the knees bend to let the hip hike. So one knee bends, the other hip is going to hike up. Straighten the leg of the hip that hikes higher, high on this side, and then this side. So just getting those hips to move, letting the knees bend. You could do this with straight legs too, by just lifting your heel and see how that also will hike the hip. So there's many ways to get to that destination. All right, now we're gonna do a full circle. So tuck your tailbone, push the pelvis forward, let the hips travel to the right, tailbone releases back, and then over to the left, going in just that one direction. You have to bend the knees generously to get this circle to feel really good. If your legs are straight, it won't feel as yummy, delicious. I don't know, stretches can feel delicious. I think so. And pause, forward. We're going to reverse, travel left, back, right, forward. Try to be as symmetrical as possible with your circle. 1 more time around. All right, shake it off. Just wiggle around. Shaking is really good. So if you ever feel like you have some nervous energy or you're just feeling anxious, I've found, and there's actually science backing this, that by shaking around, jumping, and just like bouncing, that helps to expend, to get rid of some of that nervous energy and tap into more of the parasympathetic nervous system and get us out of that fight or flight. So just practice jumping around and bouncing as a little reset. Okay, so now that we've shaked everything out, we are going to move on and grab our TheraBand if you have one. Otherwise, we're just doing a Pilates roll down. So stepping onto that band, hip distance apart with your feet, hold so you have just a tiny space between your hand and your feet. We're going to have a lot of tension. Take a soft bend in your knees. Relax your spine, relax your head, let it be heavy. Take an inhale through the nose. And on your exhale, slowly start to restack the spine. Keep the pelvis over the knees and ankles. Create tension on that band. Let the tension draw your shoulder blades down towards your hips. And then you're going to shrug the shoulders up and down. Twice more. Up, down, up, down. And now inhale. Exhale, nod your chin toward your chest. Slowly roll back down. Nice massage for the spine. Soften the knees at the bottom. The band goes slack, but you're still holding on to it. Inhale. And exhale, slowly roll back up one vertebra at a time. Restacks. Roll the shoulders down and back. This time we're going to do 3 circles in each direction. 2, 3. Pause and reverse. Full range of motion in those shoulders. All right. And now release that band. You're going to step out of it and take it ahead of you. Hands are pretty separated here, and you can always bring them further apart to make it less of a stretch for the chest, or closer if you want to increase the stretch across the front of your chest and shoulders. So we're going to start just nice wide stance, about shoulder width, soft bend of the knees here. And then I'm going to take my arms and I'm going to do a big rainbow up and over, opening up the chest, getting that full circumduction in the shoulder socket, going up, lightly stretching that band as we go back. Just a big rainbow. As you do this, try to keep that neutral spine. Feel the gluteal muscles and your abdominals working to support that length in your spine. 2 more like that. Keep the rib cage stacked over the pelvis. And final one, then we're going to change it up. So now we're going to round the spine. Tuck your tailbone. Remember what we practiced with that pelvic movement? Rounding, tucking the tailbone here, and then press the pelvis forward. Keep the tailbone tucked, but press forward as you go into a nice extension of the spine, and then back into that rounded back, tucking the tailbone even more so, rounding the spine, pressing the hips forward, keeping the abdominals engaged, even in a lengthened position here as we go into that extension. So let's make it a little more dynamic. Exhale and inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Keeping a nice strong wrist position. Knuckles are in line with your forearms. 3 more. Feel the shoulder blades separate and come together. Retraction here and then protraction. We have 1 more, I believe. Inhale and exhale. All right, shake that off. So moving on, we're going to do a big circle, holding that band up in a capital letter Y with a little tension on it. Soften your shoulder blades. Just let them relax here so they're not shrugging up to your shoulders. Soft bend of the knees. We're going to do a big side bend to the right. Go into a little rotation forward. Generous bend of the knees. Forward fold at the bottom. You're totally relaxed. Then you come up the other side. Rotation. Side bend. Lovely stretch. We'll do 2 more in this direction. Inhale. And exhale. Start to go forward and down. Big release at the bottom. And then that rotation and side bend to come up. Really milk it. Don't rush the stretch. Go nice and slowly. Feeling those obliques and your lats get a nice release. All right, that's that direction. We're going to go the other way for 3. Inhale, up and over. And then rotate, forward fold, up and over. Find that length in the spine before you go into that side bend. Rotation and forward fold. Once more. Very nice. Just do a few squats now. So nothing super fancy for now. We're just going to hold this band if you've got it, and I'll show you from the side. Parallel with the feet, about shoulder width apart. Toes are facing forward. Unless it feels much better, you can have a slight turnout at the hips. From here, the knees go forward, the hips go back, and I'm going to bring that band up in line with my shoulders. So it's an inhale down, just keeping a tiny bit of tension on that band. Exhale as I press through those tripod points in my feet to come up. Pressing through both feet evenly, through those 3 points, ball of the foot, all the way to the heel. 3 more squats. Inhale down, exhale up. 2, 3. Little challenge. I'll show you this way. We're going to go into that squat. Keep the arms up overhead and pulse. Pulse up and down. Try to relax those shoulders again. To modify, arms are in front of you or hands are on the hips. You might be feeling those quads just about now. We're almost there. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Whew. And done with those squats. Shake that off. All right, we're gonna practice a hip hinge next. So a hip hinge is a fundamental movement, just like our squat and lunge are. You're gonna have the hands on the hips. You can really feel that pelvis. And then let's do shoulder distance in parallel with the feet, looking ahead of you. Soft bend in the knees. We're gonna keep that bend consistent. You're not gonna make it a smaller angle or a bigger angle. So keeping that same knee bend the whole time, you're going to let the body hinge forward from the pelvis rolling on top of the femur bone. Only go to the point where your shoulders are still above your hips. We don't want to go lower because we will round the back. And then exhale as you stand up. So a hip hinge or a deadlift is a glute hamstring dominant movement versus a squat, which is a little bit more quad centric. So we're really targeting the posterior kinetic chain, this whole back side of our body. And I want you to think about finding those abdominals as you hinge forward and come up. You don't let those muscles go, so they're always going to be working. Just like you've got a little pilot light on in your abdomen at all times, and it's never going to turn off. 2 more hinges. The bum goes back, and then you press it forward without overly tucking the tailbone at the top. We don't want to clench our glutes too much. Just back to neutral. Okay, so we're going to, I want to try teaching you guys the cane squat. So the cane squat, we're adding a squat to that hip hinge. So we're combining the 2 fundamental movements. We're only going to do 6. So 1 rep looks like this. We do the hip hinge, and then we generously bend the knees, come a little more upright in our squat as the knees come forward. We return to that hip hinge, and then we come up. And if you want an extra challenge, lift the heels, lower them. We've got 5 more. So it's an inhale, hinge, exhale, squat. Inhale, back to that hinge, exhale, up, maybe heel lift. Find your balance. That was pretty bad on my end. And then this is rep 3. Inhale into that hinge. Exhale, I like to counterbalance with the arms coming forward. Inhale back to that hinge. Exhale, up and lift. Halfway there, we've got 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and lift. 2 more. Again, this is the cane squat. K-A-N-E. A nice combination movement, combining the squat and that hip hinge. And 1 more. You can add that arm reach overhead if you'd like to get fancy schmancy. Ooh, I think a mosquito just bit my bum. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's embarrassing. They're out. They're definitely out here today. So shake that off. And I forgot my mosquito repellent. Okay. So moving on, let's grab our mini band. Hopefully no more mosquitoes come and bite me. And we're gonna put our mini band on above the knees. So I just wanted to show you how you could do some stuff with this mini band. You could do the squats. I'm not gonna do many. We'll just do a set of 8. pressing outwardly into that looped band, and that's going to help you to light up those external rotators, the glute medius muscle of the outer hip, and it will help you prevent genu valgum, which is the knees collapsing inward. So as you do squats, you can always opt to wear this little band. Pilates teachers are approximators, so every time I say a rep count, bear with me that it might be a little more or a little bit less. Let's do 2 more squats here with our band. Well, 2 more squats like that, because now we're gonna do some traveling squats. Keep the band here, or if you want a little bit more work, I'm gonna give you the option of bringing it down to just above the ankles, or you can have it on your feet, around the arches of your feet on both feet. So that's gonna be in order of increasing difficulty. From here, a little easier, above the knees, here, moderate, hardest, above, around the soles of the feet. So we're gonna hit a little squat position. Don't go super low. Find that neutral spine, and then we're doing tiny baby steps, side to side. I don't want you to ever step so far that the feet come together and that you lose tension on that band. We don't want that. So always having a little tension. You're gonna feel this pretty soon in the outer hip area. You're just going back and forth with what your space allows. I'll show you from the side as well. Just tiny steps. The lower you go, the harder it's going to be. You can be up here for a little break. You can always stand up, lengthen your legs, and then go back down. So you can choose how long you'd like to do this. These are all ideas, things that you can integrate into your personal practice, into your workouts. I usually do 6 lengths, out and back being 1. So that's approximately what we are going to do today. Taking those tiny steps, keeping those feet in parallel facing, forward and backwards. Whew, that should be 6. Okay, take a little breather. Moving on, we're almost through the workout. So we're gonna do some crescents. So I call these a crescent or a semicircle. Standing hip distance apart, soft bend in your knees. We're going to keep the left leg as the stabilizing side, hands on the hips or out to the side to help you balance. Right leg comes forward, and I want you to pull your toes to your knee. So that action is called dorsiflexion of the ankle. We're gonna keep that position of the ankle as we draw our crescent moon, back, side, forward. So applying that outward pressure on the band the whole time is going to help you work those hips. Getting that stability in the hip is really important to prevent injuries and to feel more balanced in general. We need those muscles to be kicking in. Keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more crescents. Try to relax through the shoulders and neck. And last one, back and forward. It's a lot of work for that grounded, stabilizing side. Let's do the other side. Bring the weight into the right leg. Left is forward, flex that ankle, and apply that pressure. Never give in, never let it go slack. Keeping that tension on the band as you do your crescent moon. Four more. Two more, almost there. Last one. Alrighty. So last one here with this mini band is we are going to bring it around the soles of the feet, so adjust accordingly. Make sure it's not folded up on itself. Okay? And then from here, soft bend of those knees again so you're not locking out at the knee joint. Hands on the hips, why not? We're doing a hip flexor pull. So I'm gonna show you from the side. So from here, you're pulling the left leg up to that 90-degree angle, releasing down, but still keeping tension on the band, some tension anyways. You don't wanna go all the way to the ground. Think really about pressing into that tripod on your right foot from the big toe to the pinky and your heel evenly weighted into the ground. This is going to work the deep hip flexors, your iliopsoas muscles, or muscle. which is going to help you to really generate more power in your lower body. If you have that deep, stabilizing hip flexor working instead of the superficial ones, that's going to really be beneficial. So we want to, as I lose my balance, try to pull that knee up to 90 or a little higher than 90 degrees. Okay, so other side. Exhale to pull, inhale, slow release, but always keeping a wee bit of tension on your mini band. Arms can be wherever you'd like again. You can get creative with your arm position. Whew. Feel that tripod, that grounding sensation of the left foot into the earth. 2 more. All right, I also do that in a turned out position. So you're gonna find a Pilates V, but your heels are not together today. They're a little separated. Turn out from the hips all the way to the ankle. And then we're gonna go back to that original side, but we're pulling in turn out this time. So our knees and toes are facing like on a diagonal to the side. No longer are they facing forward and backwards. Use that exhale as you pull. Working those external rotators, outer thighs a little bit more with this variation. 2 more. Whew. Back through center. Other side, pull that right leg up. Slow release. Up. Feeling the core work here again. Whenever we do balancing work, it is definitely firing, so you don't need to be on your back doing roll-ups and the hundreds, and I mean, all of those mat Pilates exercises are phenomenal, but you can do a lot of functional work standing too, which is what we do in life. We stand and walk and pull and push things, so it's good to be strong there. We did too many, let's do 1 more. Woo. And release those hips, wiggle them out, shake it off. Take the band off, toss it to the side because we're done with it. But we're not done with this long band. So a few more things and then we're wrapping it up. We're going to take this band, stand where you have room to step behind you. And just like we did earlier, we're going to go into some lunges with that movement we did earlier, alternating sides. Hip distance apart, so you're not on a tight rope as you lunge. We've already practiced the arm movement. Pulling it back, bringing it forward, and we'll stop just in front of the shoulders. Ooh, I lost my balance. Inhale back, exhale, step it up and switch sides. You can go into more of a split squat, 90-90 like this, or you can go into more of a stretchy feel-good lunge with the knee coming down, getting a little more extension through the spine. I'll demonstrate 1 more of those to each side. Pressing the pelvis forward, opening through that upper mid-back as you pull the TheraBand back. One other variation you could do is back into that 90-90, just a little hover of the knee. Most of the weight, again, is in that front leg. And then a high knee, repeating it on the same side. I'm just gonna do 4 to demonstrate. Exhale up. And 4, switching sides, 90-90. Exhale, high knee. Find the power in the left glute muscles to help you lift into that high knee. 2 more. Ooh, all right, very nice. And our last 2 things are going to be, or our last few things are going to be balance oriented. So to begin, interlace your fingers to make a basket to support the back of your skull. Elbows in your peripheral vision. Hip distance apart with your feet. I call these the diagonal pulls. So 2 parts to this combo. The first one is the right leg, the moving one, is going to go out to the side. And in this position, repress your head back into the hands. From this position, flex your right ankle, keep that leg straight. Now you're going to pull it across your midline and point the foot, point the ankle down. This is internal rotation and adduction of the hip. Then we go out to the side, abduct the leg, and adduct the leg. We go out, lift, pull across your belly button. So we're really getting those hips to move in all the ways today. The breath is whatever makes sense, whatever is most intuitive in your body. I change it up. I like to keep my body guessing. Here I like to inhale usually and then exhale as I pull across to find that extra oblique work on that exhale. One more. Other leg, same thing. Out to the, find your balance, out to the side, and then pull across midline. Abduction of the leg, and pull it across adduction. We're getting a little bit of that internal rotation of the hip. Really think about that tripod of the foot again, pressing into the full foot. Twice more. Then the last part of that combo is you start crossed body at the low position, flexing the ankle, and then we pull out to the side, external rotation, horizontal abduction. So it's exhale, pull and point, inhale, push and flex. Maintain nice and lifted in your torso, pressing the head back into the hands. Twice more on this side. Find that point that you're looking at to help stabilize your body. And other side, here we go. Starting cross body, and then pull out to the side. Inhale down, exhale, pull. Flex the ankle, point the ankle. Try both breaths if you want. Just make sure you're breathing. One more. All right, that's a fun one. I like that one a lot. Also really good before running. So we're gonna move on. And last little sequence, we practiced our hip hinge earlier. Now we're going to add on to that hip hinge, and we're gonna do just 3 on each side. So you don't need much if you're doing these slow and controlled. It's going to be a diagonal press. So a diagonal press, I'm taking my right leg to tabletop, 90 degrees, and the left palm to the inside of that leg. I'm creating this brace, this pressure of the hand pressing into the inside of the knee pressing into the hand, and my right arm is just reaching back behind me, palm facing forward, very soft bend in that left knee. So this is our starting position, and then from here we're gonna inhale and hinge at the hips, keeping that right leg bent, tap the knee, or maybe the foot, keep that nice neutral spine, so you do have to bend the knee to get there. That's all your inhale breath, and on your exhale, you come up, back to diagonal press. 2 more, so very slow motion. I want you to inhale, hinge at the hips, do not rush it, tap either the knee, or if you're feeling good, you can go a little lower, keeping that length from the crown of the head to the tailbone, tap, and exhale up. I've got hair in my face. Last one, find that tripod in that left foot. Inhale down, and exhale, lift back up. 3 reps, and that is exhausting. So let's shake that off and do the other side. Put my hair in a little bun, there we go. Okay, diagonal press, right palm to the inside of the left knee, left arm is long, reaching it back, palm facing forward, lifted posture, big inhale, and exhale. On your next inhale, you're going to go into that hip hinge, tap the left hand somewhere on that right leg or foot, and then use your big strong exhale to come upright to that diagonal press. Gaze is forward. Inhale, gaze goes down. As you tap the knee or the foot, keep a bend in that right knee. Exhale back up. These will get easier with practice, I promise. And inhale down, last one. Exhale, drive up through the right glutes and hamstrings. Shake that off. Now I just want you to try, you're only gonna do a few. We're only gonna do 2 on each side, but with the band. So the added challenge, the level 2 version, is you go into your high knee like this, arms overhead with slight pressure on that band, tension out to the side, capital letter Y with the arms. Then you're going to extend that leg long, soft bend in that right knee, find a nice hinged position here, pull the band apart, make a capital letter T, the band goes behind your head, band goes back overhead, and you reset. We'll do that one more time. It's an inhale, hinge and reach, flex that left ankle. Exhale, pull the band into capital letter T. Inhale, reach overhead, and exhale up and switch sides. Very nice. Whew, it's exhausting. So we start here with a nice tall posture, high knee. Inhale, reach that leg back. Try to square your pelvis and hips down to the ground so you're not opening to the side like a dog peeing on a hydrant. Exhale, pull the band apart. Inhale, overhead. And exhale, high knee overhead with those arms. Once more, hinge slowly. And reach that leg back. Exhale, pull the band apart. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, nice and tall. And set the band down. Okay, our last little challenge of the day is going to be some external rotation and internal rotation of the hip. I'm going to show you with the hands down and then with the hands no hands, harder version. So the first one, we roll down, big standing roll down, and then softly bend those knees as much as you need to get the fingertips to the ground for support. So now we're going to lift that left leg, knee is facing down. Now I want you to rotate the pelvis to the left, let the knee go out to the side, and then the knee goes down and over to the right, and the foot goes out to the side. That's internal rotation of the hip. We go through parallel to external rotation. Really open the pelvis to the left. Knee goes out to the side. And then the knee comes down. The knee points in the other direction. Internal rotation. You'll feel a stretch in the right outer hip. And then we go back into external rotation. We'll do this one more time. Through center and down. Now the level 2 version is you try that with the hands on the hips. Slowly bend that right knee. Start in parallel. You're hinging at the hips here, not rounding the back anymore. We open the knee to the side, open the pelvis to the left. Knee comes through center, and then the knee goes to the other side. So it's a little windshield wiper. The knee goes out to the side. Keep your gaze down. That will help you a lot. Knee comes through center. Knee points the other way. Oh, that's a lot of work. So one to practice. We'll try that on the other side, and that's our last thing today. So do a few with the hands down to new side. We are not symmetrical always, so might present a different challenge on this side. And then we open the pelvis to the right, knee to the right, through center, and then point the knee to the ground. Open the knee to the right, pelvis to the right, through center, going through parallel, and then the knee to the left. Keep breathing. How open can you get that pelvis? And how internally rotated can you get that hip? We're going to try that, no hands. Just 2. Find your balance. Center that gaze down in front of you on the mat, on the floor, through center. Knee points the other way. Internal rotation, parallel. External rotation. We're finishing this up. Last one. Stand all the way up. Whew, and we made it to the end. Shake all of that off. We'll do one last roll down, hip distance apart. Lovely way to end your practice. Float those arms up overhead. Grow as tall as you can. And then exhale, slowly nod your chin toward your chest, and segmentally you're going to roll the spine down, one vertebra at a time. Soften the knees to get the fingers to graze the floor. And just become a big rag doll. Just completely relax your body here. Big breath in. And use the big exhale to power that lift of the spine, rounding it. Restacking your bones. Rolling the shoulders down and back. And we made it to the end. Good job, everybody. This is a lot of stuff, I know, but it's going to be stuff that you can pull from and create your own routine with your favorite exercises. Once you do this video and the other ones a few times, then they'll just become pretty easy muscle memory. At first, it can be overwhelming when we do a lot of balancing work on one leg, but it's so important to work on that because it's great for injury prevention, and you could just go out and do what you love in life much better without getting hurt and with enjoying it much more. So I hope that you're enjoying this little series. This is the first, actually, and there's going to be 2 more of this lower body focused series with Pilates at the Pavilion. Let me know what your favorite exercise was, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you for checking out the Pilates Nomads, and have a wonderful day. Bye.